Hey guys, coming to you tonight from the cab of my truck. Hey, if I haven't mentioned this, I have a very good reason why I'm recording these videos from my truck. Perhaps you've wondered why, and here's why. First and foremost, I live with two grown men and a 2-year-old toddler. My husband and our housemate and our housemate's daughter. So it's a little crazy at my house, a little loud sometimes. There's a lot of energy and activity that would possibly interfere with me recording videos like I used to a couple years ago. I used to record them all on my laptop from my home art studio. The other reason though is I am doing the artist way during my downtime, during my work days. There's a saying in trucking, hurry up and wait, and it's so true. So I hustle every morning to get to the yard and then to get to the docks and get loaded, and then I might sit for an hour while I wait to get loaded. Then I hustle to get on the highway and either go to the truck stop to fuel and then get to my first delivery. And so throughout my days, there's these really busy periods, and then I'm sitting for anywhere from 15 minutes to 2 hours, sometimes more, waiting to get loaded at a plant and then waiting to get unloaded at a customer. And in the beginning of this journey, I recorded some of these while that process was happening, but I was finding it to be a little distracting, so I started to do them at the end of my shift when I'm logged off, and then I can just focus on you folks. But anyway, so the main reason why I'm recording them in my cab is because this is where I'm reading the chapters, where I'm usually writing my pages, where I'm actually doing the artist way, is right here. So just in case you're wondering, because it is kind of weird. But anyways, what I'm actually here to talk to you about is chapter 5 of The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron. This classic book. It's more than 25 years old. I think this is the 10th anniversary. I'm pretty sure it's not a recent book. It's old. Anyways, chapter 5 is on recovering a sense of possibility. And I'm pretty sure I say this every week, but I seriously loved this chapter. Julia always takes us on an adventure in the chapter. She'll start with one topic, and then that leads into another topic. And this chapter very much did that. She starts off by talking about serendipity in synchronistic events. I think she's covered this in past chapters. I'm pretty sure she has, where she talks about when we start to take the steps to honor creativity, things start to happen. It's kind of like an old Christian saying of, God helps those who help themselves, or in the more New Thought, ancient wisdom tradition of treat and move your feet. When we start taking action, the universe starts to conspire to support us. And so she talks about that in this chapter a lot. And she mentions that we, as creatives, we tend to have scarcity thinking, and we need to expand our beliefs about what is possible. And so she talks about that in the beginning, and then she sort of has a intermission, talks about a different topic about the virtue trap. We get caught up in caring more about what other people think about us, and so instead of honoring ourselves, we might say yes to requests that we really want to say no to. We want to be the good spouse and the good parent and the good child, and to our parents. And so we tend to put ourselves last, and we tend to put our art making last. And so she talks about we need to let go of how other people perceive us and learn to be more selfish, which is really an act of self-love, especially when it comes to honoring our creativity. And then she comes back around to that scarcity thinking, or rather how to work through that scarcity thinking of what we think is possible with our lives and with our art making. And she recommends another tool, so to speak. She talks about or she suggests collecting images and keeping a file of images that represent the life that we want to create for ourselves through our art making, but just the life we want to create in general. So maybe you want to, you either don't have a creative space, but you want to dedicate a room to it being a home art studio. This is just an example. And so maybe you start collecting images of what your ideal art studio might look like. Or you don't travel right now, but you want to travel, and so you start collecting images that represent travel to you. This book is so old, she might have written it before the popularity of vision boards, but as I was reading it, that's what I kept thinking about, of why would I collect all these images and then put them in a file? I want to have them out somewhere where I can see them. And so over the years, I've created a ton of vision boards. I love that exercise. Not only does it reveal to me things that inspire me and stimulate me, but over time, when you keep creating vision boards, at least for myself, I'll see themes. I'll be like, oh, that was on my last vision board, or that keeps showing up. That must really be important to me because I keep finding images that resonate with me and then choosing to place them on my vision board. So again, she doesn't talk about vision boards, but I recommend, if you're going to do the exercise of collecting images to inspire you and help you hold that vision of the life that you want to create for yourself, I recommend displaying these images in a way that you actually see them. And then I'm going to post pictures on Facebook when I post this video. In the last year or so, I've started to create a vision journal because vision boards, I've been doing them for so long. They take up too much real estate space on my walls at home. So I like my vision journal because it's much smaller, and I can, with the 2-page spread, I can make the spread sort of theme specific, and it's just fun to play with a different, smaller composition. So I'll post pictures of those on Facebook. So that's chapter 5, and that was, the topic was recovering a sense of possibility. Next week is recovering a sense of abundance. I'm actually really excited about reading that chapter. I don't remember it from when I've done this program before, but since I am like driven to get myself out of debt for good and never go back, I'm all about reading about anything that has to do with abundance. So we'll find out more. I think I've covered everything I wanted to discuss. Just a reminder to myself as well, let's keep doing our weekly solo artist dates, our daily morning pages, and gosh, more than anything, just keeping in mind that our creative callings are calling us for a reason. It's important. We need to honor our creative callings and go make some art. All right, signing off. I'll talk to you guys next week. Have a good night.